Hello and welcome back to CinemaBurger, where I bring you movie reviews from a different perspective. Today we're here to talk about the Disney Plus original movie, Godmothered, starring Gillian Bell, Isla Fisher, June Squibb, and Jane Curtin. It's about the world of fairy godmothers and the last chance to keep the godmothers relevant as they can make one last kid's dream come true. So Gillian Bell plays Eleanor, a godmother in training, who is taught by Moira, played by Jane Curtin. She is the original godmother and created all the rules and practices for godmothering. June Squibb plays Agnes, who makes the announcements, and she acts as somewhat of the narrator of the movie. Now, it turns out there is a formula for godmothering that every kid wants to get their happily ever after, which is usually true love and a prince. But there hasn't been a new wish for a godmother in many years. So it's possible that fair Motherland, where all the godmothers live, will shut down and all the remaining godmothers will have to become tooth fairies. But Eleanor goes through the archives and finds the last godmother wish from a little kid named Mackenzie. So she goes to Earth to find her. It turns out that letter was a few years old. Mackenzie is now an adult with children of her own, played by Isla Fisher. She works at a news studio and is a little overwhelmed with life and things like that. So when Eleanor meets Mackenzie, she tries to help her get her happily ever after, but she ends up messing things up along the way. It is nice that we get to see the fairy tale world from the godmother's point of view, when anytime we would be focused on the one with the fairy godmother, we're focused on the fairy godmother herself. So we see the ins and outs of like learning magic, traveling through portals, and things like that. Eleanor is in the real world, and everyone believes pretty easily that like the fairy godmother exists and that magic is real and things like that. Like, for the most part, though, everyone thinks Eleanor is just a crazy person, and she does have some like kind of creepy moments when she says things. But Gillian Bell plays it really like genuine and things like that. Now, Eleanor helps Mackenzie's daughter overcome stage fright because he has anxiety about singing in public, and Mackenzie's attitude toward it is like, oh, you know, you'll be afraid and you won't do it. It's not like trying to be mean, it's just like, I guess, in her eyes being realistic, where she's like, oh, you won't, you know you have anxiety, like, you shouldn't try, I guess, because Mackenzie's had a harder life. Now, there's one point where Eleanor drinks for the first time, and it's pretty funny. She accidentally uses magic on things, and it's always funny seeing, like, someone who has never drank before. Now, there's, like, the twists and turns where Eleanor is doing a lot of things that she thinks she's helping, but ends up messing things up really bad. There's always the redemption part of it, and that Eleanor becomes a real godmother, even though the head godmother, Moira, almost takes away her magic, because if she doesn't fill the wish by midnight, then Eleanor will lose her magic forever. But overall, Godmothered is a really good movie for a family. It's good for kids. It has good messages. Parents will enjoy it most likely too. So I'll give Godmothered I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 burgers, because while it's enjoyable for the most part, it's some familiar territory that we've seen, and it won't be memorable in like a year or so. So it is on Disney Plus, so you can watch it if you have Disney Plus. But if this was in theaters, I wouldn't see myself going to see it. But if you want something to watch with your family that's around the holidays, check out Godmothered. There's definitely better like holiday movies out there. Alright, I'm Scott Berger, and I'll see you next time.